The further teachings of Lao Tzu 150. Lao Tzu said, "A well out of water is overrun by ants. A ruler who has given up what he should hold to and fights with ministers over affairs is controlled by officials. When the leadership is held by non-contrivance, then functionaries obey orders to gain approval, and subordinates conceal their knowledge and do not use it rebelliously, thus working wholeheartedly for the leadership. If rulers do not delegate authority to the capable and are inclined to do things themselves, then their knowledge will be strained from day to day, and they will bear the blame themselves. When calculations are frustrated at the bottom, then it is impossible to express reason. When actions have fallen into positions, then it is impossible to maintain control. When knowledge is not sufficient to govern and authority is not sufficient to administer laws, then there is no way to interact with the populace. When emotions take shape in the heart and desires are outwardly visible, then functionaries will deviate from rectitude and flatter their superiors, while officers will bend the law and turn whichever way the wind blows. If rewards do not correspond to achievements and punishments do not fit crimes, then those above and those below will be estranged from each other. Rulers and subjects will resent each other. The whole apparatus of government will be in disarray, and knowledge will not be able to achieve a resolution." When repudiation and praise arise to the point where clarification of facts is impossible, and leaders take the blame for what is not their fault, then the leaders become increasingly overwrought, while the ministers become increasingly irresponsible. This is what is called doing the chopping in place of the carpenter. Those who do the chopping in place of the carpenter rarely avoid cutting their hands. If you race with a horse, you may exert yourself to the point where your tendons snap, but even then you will never catch up with it. If you get into a chariot and take control of the reins, the horse will die at the yoke. If a horse is chosen by an expert and trained by an expert, when an intelligent ruler rides on it, he can go 1,000 miles without the bother of choosing and training a horse. This is skillfully taking advantage of people's talents. The way of human leaders does not involve contrivance, but it does involve following. It involves establishment, but it does not involve favoritism. When there is contrivance, there is argument. When there is favoritism, there is flattery. When there is argument, usurpation is possible. When there is flattery, seduction is possible. Those who control people by means of setups cannot hold a nation. Therefore, when it is said that a good setup cannot be taken apart, that means the setup has no form. Only those who rule by spiritual influence are impossible to overcome. When desires do not emerge within, this is called shutting up. When falsehoods do not enter in from without, this is called closing up. When you are shut within and closed without, what matter is not under control? When you are closed within and shut without, what undertaking does not succeed? Thus, without exploitation or contrivance, there is function and action.